So, hi, uh, we are here with Otavio Santana, who I'm meeting before his talk. Was actually the exact title of your talk?
This one is about domain-driven design.
Domain-driven design. I
Yeah,
think it says something like from zero to hero.
from zero to hero, like
Yeah.
Hercules.
So it's about. I think it's how you can do domain-driven design with Java, right?
Yeah, the goal is to explain more about domain-driven design, and especially go to the pitfalls, because
Mm-hmm.
uh, domain-driven design is nothing new. I
Mm-hmm.
guess everybody have heard about domain-driven design,
Yeah.
but then the second question will be, have you applied correctly or properly domain-driven design?
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of people, you say no.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal of today is to explain how to achieve success using domain-driven design with Java.
Okay, but as I have been focusing on APIs and integrations. I was quite what was interesting to me, especially that I found an article that you wrote. I have it printed here.
Okay,
Uh,
sure.
yeah, about how to do proper RESTful
API,
APIs,
yes.
and it's very important to me because I even wrote a book about RESTful APIs. It's quite fresh. It's
Yes.
just published this summer, and I would like to connect these two topics. That will be a challenge for you to
No,
currently.
no,
So so so
it's a
so
pleasure.
basically, what I'm thinking when somebody is doing integration, designing an API, can DDD help them? Should they think about it? And or vice versa, when there's a team or an organization using DDD, uh, should they think about how it impacts their API design? And so basically, that will be the challenge. How would you react to this?
Oh, I mean, it's not a challenge to be honest, because domain-driven design is totally integrated with the integration, right? When you discuss domain-driven design, it's important to remember that we have two layers or two modelings. One is the strategic,
Hmm?
that goes exactly to things like that, to domains and subdomains.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about integrations, is basically the communication between subdomains, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I have an e-commerce, I need to integrate with my payment. If I work with bank, I need to integrate with the card flags
Mm-hmm.
or things like that.
Okay.
So domain-driven design helps with the definition of abandoned contexts.
Mm-hmm.
So my domain goes until here, my integration goes until here, and also several patterns to integrate between these domains. For example, imagine that I will integrate with your API,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not able to request any modifications on your API. So one way to save my domain is to create an empty corruption layer
Okay.
to avoid that your domain will impact mine,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is about integration. Plus, when I write some RESTful applications, naturally I'm looking for the semantic of the business,
Mm-hmm.
and that is for domain-driven design is about the ubiquitous language.
Yes.
So the main goal of domain-driven design is to do things like this:
Mm-hmm.
to understand the domain, understand the boundary context, define the map,
Mm-hmm.
and finally define the best way to approach two sectors, the two domains, two organizations, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned anti-corruption layers and things like how to prevent breaking something that's out of our control. Uh, but I will tell you a story that's like more down to the earth. What I saw on projects, like imagine that it's usually very hard to get exact requirement specification and domain descriptions from the customers and from the future users. And what usually happens is that that these customers, they say, okay, we already have this legacy systems, legacy application, and we want you to implement the new modern system that will be, I don't know, faster, cloud native, blah blah. And now you ask, okay, but what should it do and how it should look like? And they say, okay, basically most of the things that we have in the legacy system should stay as they are. And here are some maybe screenshots of the existing system. Here you can see there are some fields on the screen. And yeah, actually these fields may need to change a little bit, but it's not, okay, depends on some things, but that's a detail, blah blah. And actually maybe we will want to use this new system also for another country, and then of course we will have to change these fields again because there will be some legislative differences. And now the developer thinks, okay, here it is again. The customer doesn't know what they want, and but the only thing they know is the deadline, of course, when this new system should be delivered. So what do I do now? Okay, I will design this API so that it's like proof to anything. So I will just put there something called list of items, and every item will have a field called name and a field called value. And now I can put anything there, any data, and it will work and will not break. And that's it. What do you think about this approach in the context of DDD?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a huge disaster, especially because one, they didn't go directly to understand the business and the context of the business that is about domain, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a book that I love that much, that is a philosophy of soft design,
Mm-hmm.
where you also have the same modeling way, the tactic, where the achievement is to make things done,
Mm-hmm.
and the strategic. And this book explains more about, okay, if you go too much to tactic, you become a tactic tornado. And what does that mean? This person is super fast to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Is super skilled with code. However, whatever he touch, nobody is able to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the strategic person who is able to have a balance between being strategic and tactical.
Uh-huh.
And they understand that software engineering goes beyond code.
Mm-hmm.
And why I mention that? If you don't have a good test, a good documentation,
Mm-hmm.
a good reliable system, it doesn't matter the technology.
Mm-hmm.
If you still have lack of tests and strength of tests with Java 21, if you keep the same methodology, you will have a lack of tests and coverage and reliability on Java 25, on Java 35, whatever. Because the tool helps you, but there is a methodology and a procedure outside the language. So make the code ready to change, because everything changed in our life.
Yes.
Everything changed in the society, and naturally it will change the code.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that disturbed me a lot is, no, let's do that because in the future we might need that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is another mistake as well, especially because we as software engineer, we are not able to see the future.
Yeah.
Just you need to be ready to change.
Mm-hmm.
How? Doing refactoring, coverage tests, and so on. So the first disaster was not understand the domain. The second disaster was not cover and see the ambiguous language.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is not to identify the integration, how they want to do. So anti-corruption layer, should I have, should I not have? Is a share pattern or it is a conformist pattern and so on. So when you talk about domain-driven design, the integration is the root. And after that, okay, you can go to writing some code.
Yeah, but you said the technology doesn't matter, but actually there is a reason why Java is evolving, and it brings new things. One thing in terms of the domain modeling, which is really good about Java, that it's a strongly typed language, and it based on that we have a very good tooling like for this refactoring.
Yes.
So we should not avoid the change, we should embrace the change. So if we have also these new features like the records and now also pattern matching and other stuff that can help us a lot in embracing the change, I think. Like when we realize that from the business perspective something should be different from what we have, we can use the strengths of Java and especially the modern Java to change it safely. So because with some generic and dynamic structures, we may the API may seem like it's still compatible, but the business logic will break because it will not find the items that it expects, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I talked about the language does matter. Naturally, the language can help you with a lot of things, especially Java because it has a huge maturity. We have a huge power community, the strength of the documentation that we have right now, but it is not enough. I mean, it's super helpful, but if you don't write documentation, if you don't write tests, if you don't have a good soft architecture, soft design, you can do mistake even with Java. That's my point. So we're talking about API. Imagine that you are using REST API, but you are not following, for example, the Glory REST. You are working with REST API as people in the past used to be work with WSDL, for example. It is a mistake, right?
Or some RPC.
Also RPC, because those are different frameworks. And the point is how to use properly those tools. That's why I don't believe that AI is going to replace us as software engineer, because it's not about to know the tool. It's understand why I should use the tool in that moment and how I should apply that, and why should I use microservice instead of driven design, or maybe why should I not combine those in my software architecture. So those kind of things helps a lot to understand, okay, once I go to REST, I have several tools with Java. Once I go to event-driven design, I have several tools with Java. But to take that decision to identify what is best in my project, it doesn't belong to the Java itself. It belongs to the software architect or the software design senior or staff engineer. That's my point.
Okay. And you are also quite active in the Jakarta specification and Eclipse Foundation, probably. Why do you think these things are important? Can that also help connecting things together so that they don't break?
Yes, I do think so. Yes, I have been working with Eclipse Foundation for a long time. Work means doing contributions, but it goes beyond Eclipse Foundation because I've been working with Java itself
Mm-hmm.
since Java EE,
Uh-huh.
when it belonged to the JCP. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, with the split,
Yeah.
I'm contributing on both the
Uh-huh.
JCP, on the Java SE,
Uh-huh.
on the Jakarta EE by Eclipse Foundation. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
not familiar with Jakarta EE, it standardizes the Java Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, those things is super able to connect the dots, especially, on my opinion, the REST API, because the REST RS API is super useful and super powerful and super use friendly, because with a couple notation you can define the ATP verb, the exception handler, and so on.
Yes, and that's exactly what I also have in the book. That yes, sure, you just need a few of the annotations, but you should be a little careful which annotations you use, because you shouldn't
Exactly.
use annotations that are specific to your implementation framework. It's usually more strategic to use the Jakarta annotations or the microprofile annotations. Then you are independent if you use, for example, Quarkus or Helidon or some other framework, right?
Yeah, yeah. It is safer this way. I mean, you have a guarantee that we have at least million people work on the specification instead of a single company, right? I
Mm.
mean, Quarkus is amazing, but it is a single company contributing on that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, we have Jakarta specification that has the same company who built Quarkus plus a huge amount of another organization, universities, and so on. So that is why I enjoy a lot the Jakarta EE community,
Mm-hmm.
because you can switch, you can stand, and especially you can have the power of choice of vendors
Mm-hmm.
if you go to these open standards, because it combines both the open source way to standardize soft architecture, soft design process with Java.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and inside the Java Jakarta EE, we have a relatively new specification, which is Jakarta data. I think you are a great contributor there.
Yeah, I'm
Am I
expecting
right?
it. Yes.
Yeah. Why do you think it is important?
Oh, for me, we usually relate database as a pain in our application, especially if you go to use only JPA, Jakarta Persistence, because to do some simple things like pagination, you need to handle with a huge amount of code,
Mm.
or go to Spring Data. With Jakarta Data right now, we have a specification that allow you to use with several Java applications.
Mm-hmm.
So why it's new? First, we have two kind of paginations. The offset, that is the most popular one. However, it's not super efficient.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the cursor that can go directly all you need from the data. So it's more efficient in terms of performance.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the capability of define your repository with your own methods.
Mm-hmm.
So you can define your own ubiquitous language to your interface. So you can apply easily the domain-driven design and write your repository on the domain-centric way using Jakarta data. Plus, you're gonna see several vendors implementing these specifications, including flavor of NoSQL with
Mm-hmm.
GenoSQL and flavor with persistence with Hibernate, for example.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much. I think we've covered a lot of important topics, and I hope that the people will find it useful. And Maybe I will also then add some links to some resources for people who want to find out more. Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure.
And good luck for your talk today.
Thank you. My pleasure.